So I'm here with Debbie Castellanos.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about kids, quarantine, and self-care. So Debbie, you guys have 4 kids.
4.
Yep, not quite as many as the Escamias, but still a lot. And they are, what age range?
We got 11, we got 9, we've got 3 and a half, and we got a 5-year-old.
Yeah. So we're going to take a moment, and I just wanted you to give us your perspective on what this has been like for your kids. So let's talk about it. Okay, Debbie, so the first question, just that I thought you could give us a great perspective on, is what effects has this had on your kids, just like their emotions and their interactions? What's it been like for you as a mom watching your kids go through this?
Well, at first, the first couple weeks was pretty intense. Every kid had their own different way of coping with all the changes and the restrictions, and yeah, it was a rough few weeks at first. It surprised me how each kid kind of acted out in their own way. But honestly, if it wasn't for that, the extreme situation of not being around other people, that I wouldn't have been able to see how they deal under that kind of stress. So it was interesting now in retrospect, but in that moment it was not fun. So, no, yeah, we had some fits we had, that I hadn't seen before. Lots of bickering and fighting. We had one kid that's just super sad, and she expressed her sadness in a weird way. I had to kind of research and find out. So it was interesting to see them all reacting differently to the things that was going on.
Yeah. I love that perspective, though, is it did, hopefully for all of us as parents, gave us a little bit of insight if we were looking as to, how do our kids handle these kinds of pressures? How do we help them through that, kind of walk them through, even these difficult times? So that's great. Second question, what tips have you used to keep your kids productive, entertained, active? What have you done in your household for this?
We got a dog.
Okay.
So go get a dog.
Everyone, go get a dog. No.
Yeah, we've been talking about getting a dog, but we kind of upped the timeline.
Okay.
Aaron, my Aaron usually does that. He takes a plan and moves it up really, really fast when I'm not ready. Yeah. But it was more for therapeutic reasons. We're like,
that's really good.
We're gonna get a dog anyway. Might as well get one now when we're at home and we can, get used to the dog. And so yeah, Bear was our new addition, and he's been very therapeutic. So he's been great. No, but we've, I guess one of the things that I did early on that I would encourage is to kind of have this, like stuff in your back pocket, so to speak, to pull out quickly when a kid needs to have some space by themselves, or, you want to get rid of the screen time. There's enough screen time already, so you want to, there's been for example, I got these clear tubs and I put them in the backyard and filled each tub with a bunch of different things that they could do. That doesn't require me going out and doing prep work. So one has kinetic sand and tools. One has those little water beads, Orbeez things. Yeah. And so, they each take a tub and go play, and I don't have to be there. Mm-hmm. But then I know we don't want our kids to have a lot of screen time, but if you need it, there's a bunch of YouTube channels too that you could prep ahead of time and just have safe ones Go Noodle. I love Go Noodle.
Okay.
It's fun for me to watch too. They're fun, and they teach them stuff like syllables and fun dances and stuff. And so I know that if I need to get some work done or I need to cook dinner and they got to be on the TV, that's one channel that they can watch. So I would say just having some things in your back pocket that you could pull out really quick and is safe for their age, and it'll keep them busy. But hopefully not so much screen time. Yeah.
And Sarah has this, it's a genius idea. I don't know where she got it from, but we call it a frustration bin. So when our kids start to get frustrated, they can go over there and there's squeeze toys and Play-Doh and different things for them to kind of
sensory.
The sensory stuff. And I'm like, that is so good because it helps them kind of just calm down just a little bit. Yeah, so then they can get back with the group and
I need one of those. I need a frustration bin.
So I'd love to say that all of this is just going to go back to normal in the next few days, but it's not. And so as we get into summertime, do you have thoughts about helping your kids socialize, or what does that even look like? Their interactions, over the summer. We don't know if pools are going to open. What does that mean for you guys, or what does that look like for you?
It's tricky. Yeah, it's tricky because it's we kept saying in March that in the summer when things are getting better, and it's I don't know that things are going to get significantly better, but we can go swimming. So, we've been talking through basically how to continue to socialize with people, because it's like we're starved. My kids are starved from socialization. And Sarah said something in her video, in her interview with you, she was saying that even introverts need those relationships and need that socialization. That like it's easy for extroverts to like, you want it, but I point at myself because I consider myself an introvert. But yeah, like I've got a couple of those in my house who they might thrive in quarantine. Yeah. But they need it too. They need to be face to face. And so we've been talking about going to people's houses that we're safe, that we feel comfortable with. Like my parents. My parents haven't been going to big places and stuff, so we feel comfortable with them. They have a pool. They have a huge backyard. So basically, what we've been talking about is continuing the things the socialization that my kids thrive under, but tweaking it. Okay. So like we're talking about going to my parents' house and going swimming, but maybe like our family has a certain table that we're eating, hanging out, and my family over here. And I mean, just as much as social distancing as we can. Oh, me and Genesis did this. Pastor Genesis, Nikki's pastor, we did this the other day, where Fuzz, our 5-year-old, was really wanting to see Everly. Yeah. And so of course Judah wants to see Jed. So what we did is we social distanced in our front yard. So like, and it didn't go very well because Jed and Judah our boys do not understand. Yeah. But we learned, and we have some ideas on what we can do next time. But yeah, we each had our own little space, and we had like crafts and games that they could do and play, but trying to keep them separate. So next time we'll do better about like maybe you stay on this blanket and they stay on that blanket, but where they can still see each other. So
that's a really great idea.
Yeah, we're gonna keep trying to like, continue to see people that are important in our lives, but just tweaking it. I mean, everything is so weird, and that's what I've been telling them. Like, it's gonna be weird for a while, but I think at this point, like, we're all kind of weird experts about being weird and adjusting.
We've been in it for a few months.
So it's like, we can adjust. We've been adjusting for a few months now. We can tweak things a little bit, but still get to see the people that are important to us. Yeah.
So as parents, is the last question. So as parents, we're taking care of our kids, and that's where a lot of our focus is. What tips or what have you done to make sure that you're caring for yourself? We call that self-care, and just taking care of yourself emotionally, mentally, all of those things. Any thoughts on that?
Nap times and bedtime. It's gold in my house. No, I know a lot of people's kids don't nap. Have a hard time with napping, or maybe you have older kids who don't. But yeah, it's a 2-hour period in my house. Nap time is gold. It will happen every single day, even on weekends. Like, I'm such a stickler about it. But you could still do, like, if your kids don't nap, you could still do like a quiet time. Yeah. Where like for a 1-hour, 2-hour period, everyone's in their bedrooms and you don't come out unless you have an emergency. And maybe you have like certain activities that only come out for quiet time, like certain puzzles or books or whatever, to kind of help with that. But nap time is the only time of day that I really get to like make my own decisions. I get to choose what music is playing. I get to choose what show I'm watching. Sometimes I'm doing work during nap time. Yeah. Whatever, it's my choice, and I'm not, being needed anywhere. So that is self-care for me, is nap time. And then we stick to a loose bedtime. I mean, we have like this goal of this is when we would like them to go to bed, and we don't always hit it. But it's a good practice to know, like, at this point of the night, we're done with, parenting for right now, and we get to be adults and focus on our marriage or ourselves. So that is our self-care.
No, that's really good. And I think, there's probably parents out there that need that tip, just to make sure they're having a few moments, if it's an hour or whatever that is, for themselves, to just kind of take that breath or be able to focus in on stuff. So, Debbie, thank you so much. This was some really great insight, so appreciate you coming and talking with us.